Good morning, students. Today's class is going to be about research problem. Research problem, as the name indicates, is a problem that you are going to solve using your research. So, usually there is a question regarding a particular topic that you will try to find a solution for. So, this question which you have in mind regarding a particular disease is called as the research question, and the problem for which you are trying to find a solution is the research problem. Okay, and most of the social sciences, the research problem is posed in the form of a question. For example, if a person is a smoker and he gets if there are 10 people smoking and out of which 4 people got cancer, the research question would be, does smoking cause cancer? That is the research question. And the research problem is, a person who smokes has a high risk of getting cancer. So that is a problem, and you are going to study about the problem. So that is a problem which you come across in your medical profession is called as a research problem, and through your research you will find solution for it. And the question is how you try to find solution for this problem. Okay, the purpose of a research problem. What is the purpose of a research? Why do we need it? The first thing is, it will introduce the reader to the importance of topic. Okay, for example, when you do research, the research is not just for you. Any research is for the public and for the other health professionals. So the main reason why we write a statement of research problem is so that the people who read the research will be able to identify what problem you faced and how you are going to try to find solution for the problem. The next, you will try to do an investigation based on the problem. You will try to find solution for the problems, and the purpose of the problem statement is to provide a framework. Only if you know the problem, you will plan to find a solution for it. For example, as my previous example, a person who smokes is likely to get cancer. So how will you try to find the solution for it? How will you know whether the smoker actually gets cancer? You will take 10 people who smoke, you will find out how many cigarettes they smoke, how many packets per day, and how many months they have been smoking. So all this data you will collect. So this is the framework. So the research problem will provide the framework for which you will find the results, and this will help you to find the solution. Next, we come to the criteria for selecting the problem. Okay, so what are the criteria for selecting the problem? First thing is the significance or importance to the discipline. You are a medical sociology student, so you will try to find topics or research problems which are relevant or important to your discipline. You will not try to find how to inject or how to draw blood like a lab student, or you will not try to find solution for how an amputee can wear a prosthesis. That is not your discipline. Instead, you will identify a research problem that is very important for your profession, and that problem you will try to find a solution. The next thing is the originality. You cannot do a same research which another person has done already. Then there is no point in doing the research, because they have already found the research problem and they are most likely found the solution also. So you should do a original research for a problem that you came across when you were working in your profession. Then the next thing is feasibility. Feasibility means whether you are able to do it. Okay, for example, I will tell you, if you want to study whether there is any water on the moon, as a medical sociology professional, can you go to the moon and find if there is water? It is not physically possible. So you will try, or if you are trying to find how many people have cardiovascular disease in America, that is also not possible, because you have to then go to America to do the study. So what is feasible within your own institution, based on availability of time, availability of patients, facilities, equipments, money, all these things, it should be available for you to do research. So your topic should be something which is relevant to all these factors. Then the next thing is the administrative support. Suppose you do research in an organization excuse me, which is contrary to what the ideas are. For example, if the administration is telling patients should have a comfortable experience in a hospital excuse me, and you are doing a research on making the patient uncomfortable when you do research, then the administration will not support you. So you should do research which the administration supports. Then peer support. Peer support means the people who work with you or who study with you. So you should do a research in which there is common interest among all the people in your group. You should not do something which is contrary or against your peer group. Then the next thing is the availability of subjects. Availability of subjects is very important. Each time when you select a topic, I have been telling, do you think you will get patience for this study? Because if you do not, once you formulate the research problem, then the question, and halfway through the research, if you find that you do not get patience, then you will have to abandon or stop the research. So availability of patients or subjects is very important. The next one is researcher's competence. Competence means ability to do your job. So if you have enough knowledge about research, then only you will be able to find solution for a research problem, and you will be able to find a problem itself. For example, if you do not know how to read ABCD, can you write an essay in English? No, you cannot. So something like that. So unless you know about research, you cannot find a research problem. Then the next thing is ethical soundness. So the research problem that you select should be ethically correct. For example, if you are a veterinary doctor and you want to do research on dogs, for example, to see if a living dog has heart problem, then for some people, what they do, they kill the dog and see if the heart is normal. Is that right? No, you cannot kill a animal just like that. That is not ethically right. Same way in human beings, for example, if the treatment for cancer is chemotherapy, you cannot say, I am trying to find whether a person will survive without chemotherapy, and if you stop treating a patient, then that is ethically wrong. I hope you understood. A patient who is having cancer, they have to be given medicines for treatment. You are trying to say, without medicines, I will be able to cure the person, giving them some alternative therapy like massage. Okay, so is it correct for us to withhold the treatment from a person who needs the treatment? No, that is ethically wrong. So that is why every research, there is a ethical committee which has to clear the research problem, then only you can do research. The next thing is, the research problem should be made in such a way it is solvable or researchable. So for example, if you are trying to find like again, let's go to the moon. You are trying to say that you are going to create rain on the moon. Is it something which you can do? You cannot do. You cannot make rain to come on the moon. It is physically impossible. Same way in health profession, for example, can you say I will cure all cancer patients through my research by finding out solutions? No, you cannot, because it is humanly impossible to cure all cancer patients, at least as of now. So you should find research problems that is solvable. Okay, and the next one is, it should be current research. You cannot research about smallpox or ancient diseases, because those diseases are not available today. For example, if you do research on coronavirus, then people will be very happy because it is something that is a current disease. So that is very important. You have to do research based on current needs and current problems, not past problems. Okay, then you have to do your research problem should be interesting. There are some research that is boring, so you should do research in an interesting manner which will motivate the researcher. The next thing is clear and unambiguous. You know, a research problem should be selected in such a way that it has a clear cut pathway on how to do research or the methodology. If there are different ways in which you can do the same things, then you will be stuck. You won't know which way to do the research. So the research problem should be clear, it should be unambiguous. So a person reading the research problem should be able to easily understand without any problem. Then the research problem is good. The next thing is research problem should be empirical and verifiable. I have already told you, any research should be verifiable. You are doing research. If another person does the same research, they should find the same answers. Then only it is empirical and verifiable. If you do wrong things, then it will not be verifiable. Okay, and the research should be relevant. Again, we already saw research is current. So you cannot do research which is on topics which are not needed. So it should be relevant to the current profession, current time. Okay, and the research problem should be systematic. You cannot have haphazard. Any research should be systematic. I have already told you, in your own house, if you keep your things properly in the place where you have to keep them, then you will be able to identify the things easily. If you throw your things at home, then each day you will be searching for things. Same way, research, it should be systematic and step by step. If you mix the steps, then you will not be able to do research properly. Okay, so now let's see how to define the research problem and formulate the research problem. First thing is, you have to identify a broad field or subject which is of interest to you. So each day when I told you to do research on social problems and medical sociology, I have been telling you to find a topic which is of interest to you, because if somebody else, if your teacher or guide identifies a topic for you, then you will not have interest in the subject. So you find a research problem which is interesting to you. For example, if you are a student who is interested to work with HIV/AIDS patients, then in your college you should do research based on HIV/AIDS. So something like that. It should be an area which is of interest to you. Then the next thing is, when you define the research problem, you should break down the large area into sub areas. You cannot generally say, I am going to do research in cancer, I am going to do research in TB, or I am going to do research in leprosy. So in these diseases, what are the areas you are going to do research? For example, in leprosy, are you going to do research about disabilities, or are you going to do research about access to healthcare, or are you going to do research about prevention of leprosy or treatment of leprosy? So there are so many areas in which you can do research. So you have to decide which sub area or a small area of the interesting topic that you want to do research in. Then next thing is, that sub area which you are interested in, you have to select. So there are so many sub areas in the main area. So if you select a sub area which is not interesting to you, then you will not be able to do research properly, because you won't be interested to do the research. So what you have to do is, you have to select the sub area which is very interesting to you, and you have to do that research. Okay, then the next thing you have to do is raise the research question. So you have to, what is the meaning of raising the research question? Once you have identified the problem, how do we find solutions? Once we ask questions, then we will find solutions. Without asking questions, you won't know what steps you have to do. For example, there is a problem called coronavirus. So everybody knows coronavirus is a problem. So what do you want to do about coronavirus? Do you want to find a treatment for coronavirus, or do you want to prevent coronavirus, or you want those who are affected by coronavirus to get well? So you have to raise a question. What is the best way to prevent coronavirus, or which is the best treatment for coronavirus? This is a research question. So based on the problem, coronavirus is a large problem. So based on that, you will plan to do research on finding treatment for coronavirus or preventing coronavirus. So if you want to treat coronavirus, you will say which medicines will treat coronavirus. That is a research question. Then you will try to give patients 3 different medicines and then find out which is the most effective medicine. So that is how we have to raise research questions based on the research problem. Then the next important thing is formulating objectives. Objective means what you want to do through your research, step by step process. So there can be main objectives and also sub objectives. Main objective means finding treatment for coronavirus. That is a main objective. Sub objective can be trying easily available medicines for coronavirus, then creating new medicines for coronavirus. These are sub objectives. The main objective is to find treatment. Then your sub objective is you are trying to use the existing medicine, then you are trying to create new medicines. So these are sub objectives. So a main objective is a large area to be researched, and the sub objectives are smaller areas through which you will answer the main objective or find solution for the main objective. Once you have formulated the objective, the next step that you have to do is assess your objective. Okay, you have to assess, means you have to find whether your objectives are correct. Usually in a college, when you are a student, your teacher will assess your objective, but when you work as a researcher, you have to assess your objectives, whether they are achievable and whether you have enough money and time with you to do the research. So that is how you assess the research. The next thing is, once the research objectives you have created and you have assessed it, you have to formulate it. Formulate it means you have to put it in words. Okay, writing research objectives is not easy. The research objectives itself, the word, as you grow older, you will realize it's a very broad term. So you will have to make sure that they are written clearly and specifically. Main objective, we already said the main objective is a broad area. It is an overall statement of your study, and it has major tasks. Sub objectives are specific things or smaller things. Within the main objective, you are doing small activities, and those are the sub objectives. And this is how you will have to formulate the research problem and find solutions. Hope you understood this class. Thank you.